This is English Murli of the 19th of July 2025. Morning Murli Pap Tada Madhuban. Essence. Sweet children, remain constantly happy, knowing who is that is teaching you. This is also being a madhuban bhav. You have the happiness that you have stones intellect yesterday, and that your intellects today are becoming divine. Question. What is the base of someone's fortune opening? Answer. Faith. If it is going to take a long for someone's fortune to open, he continue to limp along. Those who intellects have faith study very well and go along ahead. If you have doubts about anything, you remain behind. Those who intellects have a faith and who continue to rest to the Father will become a Satopardhan. Om Shanti. When students study at school, they are aware of what they are going to become at the end of their studies. It should enter the intellects of you, sweetest spiritual children, that you are going to become the masters of golden age, land of divinity. All the relationships of bodies, etc., have to be renounced. We now have to become masters of that land of divinity. There should be this happiness throughout the day. Do you understand what the land of divinity is? There all the buildings, etc., are built of gold and silver. Here's the building are built of stones and bricks. From having stones intellects, you are becoming those with divine intellect. It is only when the Father, the Lord of divinity, comes that he changes stones intellects into divine intellects. You children sitting here know that your school is the highest on high, that there is no other school higher than this one. At this school, you become a multi-billion fold fortunate masters of the world. Therefore, your children should have so much happiness. This is the most elevated confidence age. When you go from this land of the stones to that land of the divinity, yesterday you had the stones of intellects, and today you are becoming those with the divine intellects. When you constantly have this awareness, this too is the madhuban bhav. Teachers goes to school in order to teach. The students know in their hearts that their teachers is about to come. You children understand that God himself is your teacher, that he makes you into the masters of heaven. Therefore, he surely comes at the confidence age. Human beings are calling out of him. Whereas you know that he has now already come here. It's happened like this in the previous cycles too. It is written that there were those whose intellects had no love at the time of the destruction. That was because their intellects were of stones. You have two intellects that have love at the time of destruction. Your intellects are now becoming divine. So, a clever way should be created for human beings to understand this quickly. Many people are brought here, and yet they continue to ask how Shivbaba teaches through the body of the Brahma and how he comes here. They don't understand anything at all. So many go to centers, therefore their intellects must also have the faith. Must they not? All of them say that God Shiva speaks and that Shiva is the father of the all souls. Shri Krishna is not a cult of the father. Everyone. There is nothing to be confused about in this. However, when someone's fortune takes time to open, he continues to limp along. For those who study less, it is sad they are just limping along. Those whose intellects have doubts remain behind. Those whose intellects have a faith and who study well go ahead. Everything is explained so simply. It is just like the children running a race. the race to their goals, and then the rest back to the starting point. The father says, if you do continue to the rest, your intellect quickly to the father, you becoming Satopradhan. Some understands very well. Well, they come here and the arrow strikes them. But as soon as they leave, everything finishes. Baba is giving you an injection of this knowledge. Therefore, your intoxications from that should rise. However, the toxifications doesn't rise when you drink a glass of nectar of this knowledge. Here, that affects you. But as soon as you leave, you forget everything. You children know that the oceans of the knowledge, they purify the bestower of the salvations for all. The liberator is only the one Father. He gives you everything as your inheritance. He says, children, you too have to become the full oceans. You yourselves must imbibe all of this knowledge that I have. Shivbaba has no intoxications of having a body of this on. The father says, children, I always remain in a silence. You too didn't have that intoxications when you didn't have a body. Shivbaba never says that it belongs to him. This body is taking alone, and anything taking alone cannot belong to the you. I have entered this one for a short time in the order to do service. You children now have to return home. You have to rest to meet God. People hold sacrificial fires and do tapasya, etc. But they don't understand how they can find a God. They believe that God will come in one form or another. The father explains everything very easily. You too can explain at the exemptions. The durations of the golden and silver ages has been written. That is absolutely accurate up to the year 2500. After the sun dynasty, there is a moon dynasty. Then it shows how Ravan kingdoms began and how Bharat begins to become impure. Ravan kingdom is in the copper and iron age. The dates and the durations of that period are written here. The confluence head is the place at the top in the center. There also definitely has to be a Charatar. The father enters in Charat and teaches Raj Yoga, through which they become a Lakshmi and Narayan. It is very easy to explain anyone how long the dynasty of the Lakshmi and Narayan continues. All others dynasty are limited, where this one is unlimited. Everyone should know this unlimited history and geography. It is now the confluence age, and the deity's kingdom is being established. In this land of stones, this world has to be not destroyed. How could be a new world be created if destruction didn't take place? People speak of New Delhi. You children know when it will be New Delhi. New Delhi will be in that new world. People have remembered that there were places by the banks of the river Jamuna. It is called New Delhi, the land of divinity, and it's the kingdom of the Lakshmi and Narayan. The new kingdom of the golden age can be only belong to the Lakshmi and Narayan. People have forget when the drama begins. It is also to be known who the main actors are. There are many actors, and this is why you only know the main ones. You too are becoming main actors. You are playing the main parts. You are spiritual social workers. All the other social workers are physical. You explain to these spirits, and it is the spirit that steady. People think that it is the bodies that steady. No one knows that it is the souls and that steady through these organs. I, a soul, become a breaster, etc. Baba is teaching us. The sanskar remain in the souls. You carry those sanskars with you and go and rule in the new world. The kingdom that exists in the golden age will begin once again in the same way. There is nothing to ask about in this. The main thing is never become body conscious. Consider yourselves to be souls. Do not perform any sinful acts. Stay in the remembrance. Otherwise, the burden of one sinful acts become 100-fold. Your bones will totally crushed. The main voice in this is the lust. You have to burden of sins of many births on your heads. Therefore, first of all, at least burn those sins away. The Father shows you very easy way to become a pure. You become a pure by having remembrance of the one Father. God speaks to you, children. He says, I speaks to you, souls. No other human beings can understand this. They consider themselves to be your bodies. The Father says, I explains to you, souls. It is remember that the meeting takes place between the souls and supreme souls. There is no need to make any noise in this. This is a steady. Many come to Baba from far away. Those who intellects have a faith will feel a strong pull as they make a further progress. As yet, none of you has a much pull because you don't have stay in the remembrance. When someone has been traveling and comes close to his home, he remembers his home and children. As soon as he arrives home, he meets everyone in the great happiness. His happiness continues to increase. First, he remembers his wife and then his children, etc. You remember that you are going to home and that only the father and the children are there. You have double the happiness. You are to go home to the land of peace and then to your kingdom. All you have to do is to stay in the remembrance. The Father says, Man mana bhav. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father and your inheritance. Baba is making you children into the beautiful flowers, setting you in his eyes to take you back home. There is no difficulty at all in this. You souls will go back with the Father in the same way the sermon, the mosquitoes flies. In order to become a pure, you remember the Father, not the home. Baba's version first falls on the poor children. Baba is the Lord of the poor. You go to do service in the villages. The Father says, I too come and make your villages into the land of divinity. At the present, this is a hell. It is an old world. It definitely has to become demolished. New Delhi in that new world will only exist in the golden age. It will be your kingdom there. You have to intoxication state. You are once again establishing your own kingdom, just as you did in your previous cycle. You don't say that you will build a buildings like this and that. No, when you go there you will automatically begin to build them because those parts will be recorded in your souls. Your parts here are just too steady. When you are there, it automatically enters your intellect how you should build the places. You will begin to build them as you did in the previous cycle. This is recorded in your souls in advance. You will build the same palace in which you live every cycle. New people who come here cannot understand these things. You understand that you come here to listen to a new point and then go back refreshed. The new points that emerge are also fixed in the drama. The Father says, children, I experienced no happiness in the beginning seated on the bliss bull chariot all the time. I just come to teach you the children. It isn't that I remain seated on this bull. Would one remain seated one bull and day and night? His coming and going only takes a second. It isn't the law of him to remain seated here all the time. Baba comes from so far away just to teach us. That is his home. He doesn't remain in the body throughout the whole day. He doesn't experience happiness in that. That would be like a parrot getting trapped in a cage. I take this body on a lawn simply to explain you. You say that Baba, the oceans of knowledge comes to teach you. You should have goose pimples of happiness, and that happiness should not decrease. This honor is sitting here all the time. Where do people remain constantly seated on one bull? Shiv Baba stay in his own region. When he comes, it doesn't take him long to arrive. Look how fast a rocket is. It is faster than a sound. A soul's too is a tiny rocket. Look how fast a soul flies. It goes from here to London instantly. Liberations in life in a seconds has been remembered. Baba himself is also a rocket. He says, I come here to teach you. Then I go back to my home. I remain very busy at this time. I am the bestower of divine vision. Therefore, I have to please the devotees. I teach you. Devotees wants to have a vision, or they beg for some things or other. They beg the most from the Jagat Amba. You are Jagat Ambas, the worth mothers. You give the aims of the kingdom of the world. The poor are gives aims. We are also a poor. So Shiv Baba gives us the sovereignty of the world as a aims. There are no other aims. He simply says, remember the Father, and your sins will also be absorbed, and you will go to the land of peace. Remember me, and I guarantee that your lifespans will increase. There is no mentions of death in the golden age. That is the land of immortality. There is no mentions of death there. They simply shield one skin and take another. Can that be called death? That is a land of immortality. They have a vision of that they are becoming a baby again. Therefore, it is a matter of great happiness. Baba has desired to become a baby again. He knows that in the golden age he will have a golden spoons in the mouth. I am the Father, only the long lost and now found sons. The Father has adopted me. I am the long lost, now found son. Therefore, Baba loves me so much. He instantly enters me. This is also a game. There is always happiness in the game. You know that this chariot is the most fortunate chariot. This is a chariot of which it has been remembered that the oceans of knowledge enter it into the giving you this knowledge. You children have a great happiness about the one thing. It is that God comes to teach you. God is establishing that kingdom of the heaven. We are his children. So why are we in a hell? This doesn't enter anyone's intellects. You are also the fortunate because you are studying to become the masters of the world. Therefore, you should pay so much attention to such a study. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, and long lost, no found children. Love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to spiritual children. The spiritual children say Namaste to spiritual father. Essence for Dharna: maintain the double happiness that your journey is now coming to an end. You will first go to your land of peace, and then your two kingdom. 2. The burden of sins of many births on your head should be burned away. Don't perform any sinful act by becoming body conscious. Blessings. May you become a powerful soul and use your elevated thoughts to fill everyone with the power. Accept the blessings of being constantly power and use your elevated thoughts to do the service of filling all the souls with the power. Nowadays, the accumulating the solar's energy and use it into the succeed in doing the many tasks. In the same way, accumulating so much power of elevated thoughts that the thoughts of others also become filled with the power. These thoughts work like an injection switch. Their internal attitude is the filled with the power. So now use your elevated feelings and elevated thoughts to bring about the transformations. This is the service is needed. Slogan: become a master's remover of sorrow and transform their sorrow into a spiritual happiness. This is your elevated task. Avyakt signal: accumulate the power of thoughts and become an instrument for elevated service. Sometimes some children play a big games. Wasteful thoughts come with so much force that they are unable to control themselves. Afterwards, they says, "What can I do?" It just happened. They cannot stop themselves. They do whatever they want. However, you must gain the power to control this wastefulness. Just as you receive the fruit of multi-millions for a one powerful thought, in the same way, the fruit of one wasteful thought is sadness and disappointments and loss of happiness. You experience just as much return of one. अच्छा, ओम शांति।